He recalled the battle just now, realizing that he almost made a big mistake because he didn't know blade art. Now he hurriedly began to learn the Blood Fiend blade art given to him by Pei Ling. He then summoned the system and clicked on the Blood Fiend blade art for a one-click cultivation. But the system popped up a prompt detecting that the host has injuries. Continuing to cultivate the Blood Fiend blade art will cause irreversible harm. Pei Ling was speechless. A bad premonition surged in her heart at once. You need to take Essence Nurturing Dan first to recover from your injuries. Detected Essence Nurturing Dan. Pei Ling suddenly became nervous with this system. Will it make her steal the Dan pill from the big shot again? The next second, Pei Ling, controlled by the system, reached into her own bosom. It's just a false alarm. It turned out to be that breathtaking Essence Nurturing Dan. One Essence Nurturing Dan was ingested. Pei Ling suddenly felt a warm current rising from the dantian. With the system's cultivation, this warmth quickly reached all corners of the body. Just as Pei Ling was immersed in the comfort of cultivation, the system once again sent a reminder. Detected that the host lacks Qi Refining Stage Cultivator Essence Blood. The system will give away 3 Qi Refining Stage Cultivators for free. Pei Ling suddenly widened her eyes. 3 Qi Refining Stage Cultivators? Could it be? Pei Ling, who was shocked, wanted to cancel the hosting, but the system completely ignored him. The direction ahead was surprisingly where the 3 men were located. The scene shifted, and at this moment, the 3 brothers were holding a concluding meeting. If I use the sword talisman given by my elder brother, Pei Ling will undoubtedly die. This lowly born person is so strong, there must be some secret about him. Tomorrow we will send people to search the entire Huayin Peak to find him. Just at this moment, Pei Ling entered directly by breaking down the door. 3 people were shocked to see this situation. Pei Ling didn't expect you to come back. Without waiting for Li Si to finish speaking, Pei Ling directly slashed his throat with a knife. He then ignored the other 2 people. He said, "Then I will use the Nihil blade to pierce Li Si's body and start cultivating with Li Si's essence blood." How can Zhou Yi and Miao Cheng endure such humiliation? Zhou Yi leaped into the air and threw a punch straight at Pei Ling. The system promptly issued a prompt without hesitation. Detected external attacks. This cultivate session ends here. If satisfied, please give a 5-star rating. Pei Ling, who has gained control of her body, quickly dodged the attack. But now that things have come to this point, both sides have no room for turning back. Pei Ling's eyes are filled with killing intent. He stabs directly with a knife. Zhou Yi, with dead muscles all over his body, then fell down in response. The enraged Miao Cheng continuously swung out 3 sword qi in a row. Pei Ling, who knows the power of this move, dare not be careless. He directly launched the Blood Fiend blade art and smashed the sword qi with a single strike. Miao Cheng, seeing this situation, no longer holds back. He directly uses his full strength to invoke the 2-handed mantra and activate the sword talisman in his hands. Sensing the immense aura of the sword talisman, Pei Ling's heart shuddered. He forcefully swung the Nihil blade, pointing it straight at Miao Cheng. Miao Cheng, however, remained completely calm. A hint of mockery crept onto his lips. "You're too slow," he said. In an instant, his right arm swung out, gathering all the spiritual qi and unleashing it towards Pei Ling. Pei Ling was on the brink of danger in an instant. With a deafening explosion, dust and smoke engulfed the entire courtyard, shattered by the powerful strike. When the smoke cleared, Miao Cheng did not see Pei Ling's figure. Miao Cheng wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth. "My elder brother's sword talisman is truly powerful. That bastard must have been obliterated by the attack." Who knew that at this moment, a chilling voice sounded from behind him. "Do you think too little of me?" The man was instantly frightened and fell to the ground. "Don't kill me. My elder brother isn't an 8. But at this point, Pei Ling did not hesitate at all. He decisively slashed down, ending his life. Looking at the mess in front of her, Pei Ling sighed with relief. Finally over. Watching the system prompt for a good review pop up again, Pei Ling exploded. Formation? Are you kidding me? How dare you ask for a good review? According to the rules of the sect, killing an outer disciple incurs a penalty of 10 to 30,000 spiritual stones. These three influential individuals have special identities. You can't find me 90,000, can you? But since their identities are special, they must have a lot of valuable items on them. Maybe the fines can be covered by them all at once. When Pei Ling turns the three of them upside down, apart from the jars and containers on the table, the most valuable items are the three differently shaped storage bags. The restrictions on them prevent him from opening it at all. The only items he can get his hands on are some worthless Dan pills. Since the person is already dead, just use a few drops of essence blood to continue cultivating. Cultivate in one click, intelligent duration. Detecting that the host is lacking essence blood of Qi refining stage cultivator. The system will give you 2 Qi refining stage cultivators for free. Pei Ling is taking in these 2 cultivators. Suddenly, the nihil blade next to her trembles in response. 2 screams come from the side. It turns out to be the nihil blade. It is absorbing the essence blood of Zhou Yi and Miao Cheng. Pei Ling couldn't help but sigh. It turns out it was a staged death. The people from Deep Mist Sect are indeed cunning. Qi refining stage cultivator presentation completed. The system will continue to cultivate for you. Pei Ling controlled by the system. He cultivated directly at the scene of the incident. He casually wielded his knife, and the courtyard instantly turned into a mess. He reached the outside of the courtyard in a few jumps. At that moment, blade Qi overflowed, and the wild wind danced wildly. Pei Ling was overjoyed. Indeed, the blood fiend blade art was powerful. And ghostly servant Willow, who was hiding and watching from the side, was also shocked. I didn't expect this kid to make such quick progress. No wonder he is so irresistible to his master. As the system prompt sounded, blood fiend blade art can also be considered a great success. This is the first time Pei Ling has felt satisfied with the system, so let's reluctantly give it a 3-star rating. However, when Pei Ling came to her senses, she hesitated when she looked at the 90,000 spiritual stones in front of her. I better grab my stuff and run away quickly. However, Pei Ling stopped in her tracks before running too far. He looked at the vast mountains in front of him, and Pei Ling couldn't help but fall into contemplation. Where should she go? He had no choice but to bury his 3 roommates with tears, hoping to delay the discovery by the people from Stewart's Hall. He had no choice but to seek out his dog-licking brother Pei Hongyan. However, as soon as he pushed open the courtyard gate, he saw a shocking scene. Pei Hongyan, the licking dog, is making muah faces at a portrait of Sun Orchid. Pei Ling is shocked by Formation's behavior, and thinks maybe it's not the right time for her to be here. But her own safety is the most important thing. He pretended not to see this scene and enthusiastically greeted Pei Hongyan. But unexpectedly, Pei Hongyan actually looked frightened and asked Pei Ling to stay away from him. If Orchid Junior sister sees us together, she will be unhappy. Pei Ling hurriedly smiled and said, "It was my fault. I shouldn't have made Orchid Senior sister angry." Upon hearing sister-in-law, Pei Hongyan's face turned red instantly. This really touched his heart. How about senior brother telling me how to leave the sect so I can find some gifts to apologize to sister-in-law? As soon as this was said, Pei Hongyan was moved to tears, patting Pei Ling on the shoulder while introducing Pei Ling to others. From Huang Peak to outside the gate is 1,000 miles away. You can't get out with just your 2 legs in this lifetime. If you want to leave the sect, rent a phantom cloud that costs 10 spiritual stones. Pei Ling, there are no spiritual stones, so he tentatively asked if a senior could lend him 10 spiritual stones. Pei Hongyan's expression changed instantly, saying, "I already gave all my spiritual stones to Orchid Junior sister. I have none to spare to lend you. But you can go to the Miscellaneous Affairs Department to take on tasks and earn spiritual stones. And from now on, don't come to me again." Pei Ling didn't want to say a word to this bootlicker. He turned around and arrived at the Miscellaneous Affairs Department. He plans to take a look at the tasks first before deciding. He followed the example of others and inserted the nameplate into the hole. He looked at the variety of tasks that appeared before him. Pei Ling scratched his head as he looked at the strange tasks. Delivering a letter rewards 3 lower-grade spiritual stones per month. Taking care of a spiritual beast rewards its dung per month. And finding the ghost face herb rewards 5 lower-grade spiritual stones. These tasks, even in the next life, it would be impossible to gather 90,000 spiritual stones. Finally, he came across a task that rewards 800 spiritual stones, but it unexpectedly requires a minimum chi refining 6th layer cultivation level. But I can't reach the 6th layer cultivation level in a short period of time. He suddenly realized that he wasn't actually interested in those rewards. I'll join a team to sneak in, slip away during the mission, and leave this gloomy sect, he thought to himself. However, the fact proved that the team was not as easy to blend in as he had thought. The first team only needs members with chi refining 6th layer or above. The second team also rejects him because of his low cultivation level. The third team even directly expressed that your cultivation level joining us is just asking for death. Come to think of it, why do I feel a bit familiar with these 3 teams? Especially your hairstyle, isn't it a bit too obvious? Is there any knowledgeable bro in the comments section to enlighten us? Just when Pei Ling was feeling hopeless, a delicate jade hand was placed on her shoulder. Little junior brother, your cultivation level seems a bit low. However, senior sister won't despise you. Pei Ling was so scared that she ran away. Sister, you must look beautiful when you lose weight. Please spare me for now. In a corner of the Miscellaneous Affairs Department, another toady of Sun Orchid is reporting to senior sister, am I right? That guy is looking for a team. With his cultivation level of chi refining 4 layer, he still wants to take on tasks from the sect. Sun Orchid chuckled and said, Pei Ling, if you dare to provoke me, then I will help you today. Just as Pei Ling was at a loss, the conversation beside him caught his attention. Because a team was looking for teammates, and they only needed new recruits at the chi refining 3 or 4 layer. When Pei Ling heard, chi refining 3 or 4 layer, he immediately perked up. This is just the opportunity he had been looking for. He dashed over in a single leap and said, Senior brother, hello, I am Pei Ling, exactly at the chi refining 4 layer. Sure, but we are about to set off now. Do you need to make any more preparations? No need, let's go now. Pei Ling thought to himself, I don't want to stay in this gloomy sect for even a second longer. Little did they know, all of these were calculated by senior brother. At that moment, Gita, who is obese, was chatting up Pei Ling. Sun Orchid found the senior brother Chun, and Pei Ling's talent is on par with Pei Hongyan's, so using her as a blood sacrifice for senior brother is just perfect. Senior brother Chun hesitates a bit. Isn't this Pei Ling brought in by Zheng Jingshan? It's not wise to provoke him. Sun Orchid immediately explained that Pei Ling is nothing but a dog in Zheng Jingshan's eyes. If he really valued him, how could he have let him search for the team alone? Upon hearing these words, senior brother Chen finally relaxed. He looked at the excited Pei Ling with a hint of a sly smile. His own soul-summoning banner could finally be refined. Later, Pei Ling and the others rushed out of the sect together. Sitting on the phantom cloud, Pei Ling felt refreshed. This was much more comfortable than Pei Hongyan's lousy paper boat. Just then, senior brother Chen patted Pei Ling on the shoulder. Junior brother Pei, let me introduce our teammates to you. My name is Chen Hung, at the 6th layer of Qi refining. This is my unreliable younger sister, Chen Mei, at the 4th layer of Qi refining. The 3 of them are respectively Huang Xian, Zhang Zongchen, and Xiao Tasha, all at the 5th layer of Qi refining. Pei Ling quickly returned the gesture with clasped hands and said, Nice to meet you all. I am Pei Ling, at the 4th layer of Qi refining. Chen Hung then explained to Pei Ling, This mission is mainly to accompany my sister, who is at the 4th layer of qi refining, to gain experience. Pei Ling immediately brown-nosed and said, Senior brother Chen, rest assured, I will definitely protect senior sister Chen Shu. In fact, he had long planned in his heart. I don't have time to accompany your sister for training. Once we leave the sect, I'll find an opportunity to slip away. When the sea is wide, fish leap. When the sky is high, birds fly. But why does this scene feel familiar? Pei Ling looked at the distant view and casually asked, as if he didn't care. If senior brother leaves the sect, what use is this token? The response received was, once you leave the sacred sect, this token is the only thing that can prove your identity. It can also be used to seek help or determine your location in times of danger from the sect. Pei Ling was shocked. If this token has a tracking function, I'll have to get rid of it when I make my escape. Pei Ling scratched his head, then asked, if someone owes a spiritual stone and decides to throw away the token and escape from the sacred sect, wouldn't the sacred sect suffer losses for nothing? Senior Sister Xiao smiled and explained, it's not possible. Previously, there was a disciple who owed 100 spiritual stones, took on a task, and fled. Can you guess what happened next? Pei Ling asked nervously. What happened? The sacred sect directly sent 3 cultivators, each one surpassing the cultivator by a large stage, to chase him for a full 20 years. In the end, they massacred his entire family that he had established. Pei Ling was so scared on the spot that he made a typical emoji face. In order to chase after a mere 100 spiritual stones, he pursued for 20 years. How can he escape with 90,000 spiritual stones of his own? He was originally planning to escape. It seems that it is not feasible. He can only focus on working to repay the debt. This time their mission is to hunt and kill a fiend beast at the Enlightenment Stage 6 layer. Their strength is roughly equivalent to a cultivator at the Qi refining 6th layer, and Pei Ling's task is to protect Chen Mei. Pei Ling asked eagerly, Senior brother, how many spiritual stones can we get this time? Senior brother Chen replied, if you perform well, I can give you 20 pieces. Pei Ling was speechless for a moment. 20 pieces? But I own 90,000 spiritual stones. Chen Heng saw Pei Ling's expression and thought she was stunned by the quantity of 20 pieces. After all, for newly recruited disciples of the sect, 20 pieces were indeed not a small number. He was even more disdainful of the formation in his heart. Chen Shu added that although 20 spiritual stones are not few, if you have the talent for artifact forging, dam refining, and talisman crafting, you can earn even more spiritual stones. Your fellow clansman Pei Hongyan has remarkable talent. He almost became a disciple of the talisman peak back then, but unfortunately, he was delayed by Sun Orchid. Hearing about this, Pei Ling was pleasantly surprised by a formation and hurriedly asked Pei Hongyan how he caught the attention back then. It turns out that Pei Hongyan had exceptional talent in Talisman Dao, drawing his first talisman within 2 years. It takes 2 years to hear about exceptional talent, and the deadline for paying the fine is 3 months. 2 years later, Pei Ling's ashes had already cooled. At that moment, Zhang Zongchen, who had been silent all along, he suddenly suggested to have a friendly match with Pei Ling. Pei Ling happens to want to test the strength of this team as well. He clasped his fist and said, "Excuse me," before that. He immediately sank his shoulders and straightened his waist, throwing a punch at him. Zhang Zongchen saw that this punch was not fancy at all, clearly just meant for testing the waters. He slightly shifted, not avoiding or retreating, but instead stood his ground and met the blow with his chest. But the next second, a huge force struck him, nearly causing him to embarrass himself. He had no choice but to quickly step back and release the remaining force. The man sensed that Pei Ling was not easy to deal with, so he immediately stopped holding back and attacked Pei Ling with full force. Pei Ling was unable to dodge in time and could only resist head-on. After a few punches, Pei Ling gradually fell into a disadvantageous position. He only now realizes the strength of Qi refining 5th layer. At this moment, Chen Heng timely eased the situation and said, "Let's stop here, Pei Ling. Pei Ling quickly bowed and thanked senior brother Zhang, saying, "Many thanks for your guidance." After a brief exchange between the two, Wang Xian suddenly asked, "Junior brother Pei, you were clearly carrying a knife. Why didn't you use it just now?" Pei Ling explained with a smile. "It was just a friendly sparring match. Senior brother Zhang didn't use any weapons, so naturally I couldn't use one either." He thought to himself, "I don't want to attract any more attention to the nine-hill blade. Wealth should not be flaunted." After the sparring session came to an end, everyone resumed quietly on their journey, watching Pei Ling, who was completely defenseless. Chen Hung was ecstatic inside, as this guy's physical body is so powerful that he can be the final material I need for my soul summoning banner. He pressed down his excitement, whispered a promise, and said that maybe we could use this to enter innate Tasha. When the time comes, Xiao Tasha might trouble you to take action. Xiao Tasha blushed a little, and being able to do things for senior brother Chen, Tasha will do his best. And Pei Ling, who was kept in the dark, suddenly realized why these guys were all so happy. Just as Pei Ling looked puzzled, Chen Shu actually looked worried and asked junior brother Pei, "You didn't get hurt just now, did you? Here are a few vital essence dawn for you." Pei Ling was overjoyed. How could he refuse something he could get for free? Now the whole team is happy. After a few days of travel, Pei Ling and the others finally arrived at their destination, Helix Ridge City. As the city lord was busy with official duties, the steward of the city received them on behalf of the city lord. Upon first entering the city lord's manor, Pei Ling felt the unusually rich spiritual qi in this place. Chen Mei chuckled and explained that the city lord of Duanmu, a formation cultivator, had set up a simple qi gathering formation in the city lord's manor. Chen Hung quickly added that the city lord of Duanmu is a senior at the foundation establishment stage. Upon meeting him later, one must not be disrespectful. Pei Ling nodded repeatedly in agreement. Nephew Chen Shu, long time no see. The arrival is none other than Lord Duanmu Flame of Helix Ridge City. This person appears to be in his 40s, with a dignified appearance and a short mustache under his forehead. His eyes glisten with sharpness, giving off an aura of wisdom and competence. Everyone quickly stood up and bowed in greeting. After some pleasantries, Chen Hung explained to Duanmu Flame the two tasks of this trip. One is the flower yogui outside the city, and the other is the amethyst mink in Helix Ridge Mountain. Unexpectedly, the city lord's expression turned difficult. "Nephew, you must have come prepared. Dealing with the flower yogui outside the city and the amethyst mink in Helix Ridge Mountain should not be a problem. Recently, a human-faced spider at the foundation establishment stage has emerged from deep within Helix Ridge Mountain to lay eggs, coincidentally choosing the vicinity of the amethyst mink's territory." Pei Ling and Chen Hung were suddenly stunned, but their thoughts were different. Chen Hung was thinking that it would delay his blood sacrifice, while Pei Ling was worried that her reward of 20 spiritual stones would go to waste. Seeing Chen Hung and the others hesitating, Duanmu Flame thought for a moment and said, "However, this task of yours may not be impossible to complete. I have already investigated the fiend beast's activity range in advance. If you are careful to avoid it, you should be able to complete the task." Chen Hung suddenly breathed a sigh of relief and quickly took the map of the fiend beast's tracks. He thought to himself that as long as he avoided the blood sacrifice of the human-faced spider, there would be no problem. This time, he was confident in obtaining the soul-summoning banner. Time quickly passed, and soon it was late at night. Pei Ling, who returned to her room, secretly calculated that it would be impossible to earn enough 90,000 spiritual stones just by completing tasks. Does she really have to sell the Nihil blade? Just then, a chill slowly seeped into the room. Pei Ling realized something was wrong and immediately pushed open the door, only to find that the courtyard was filled with corpse aura, accompanied by the echoing sounds of a formation. Sensing the danger, Pei Ling quickly called out to her senior brothers. The next second, a dry corpse rushed towards Pei Ling. Pei Ling quickly took out a knife to defend against it. He was greatly surprised. "What's going on?" How could the guest courtyard of the city lord's mansion become so eerie? Without waiting for Pei Ling to react, the dried corpse behind him suddenly bit down. I need time, Pei Ling thought. Could it be her? He hurriedly shouted. I have mastered the blood fiend blade art. Please show yourself, Miss Willow. These days the heavy fine is hanging over my head. I almost forgot about the 10-day deadline set by Lee. Sure enough, as soon as he finished speaking, there was a faint hum from the darkness outside the courtyard gate. The xianxia surrounding the area suddenly turned into countless tiny fishes and dispersed. At the same time, Pei Ling felt a sudden drop in temperature around her. There was a soft and cold body leaning against Pei Ling's back. Two deathly pale arms reached over his shoulders, slowly winding around his neck. Willow exhaled frostily, whispering like a lover. Young Master Pei, why did you run here? You made me chase you all the way here. It's been so hard for me. Pei Ling quickly explained that he was just out doing a mission to earn spiritual stones. Willow excitedly said, Are you talking about the bounty for killing the 3 people from Miaocheng? Pei Ling was greatly surprised and thought, Wow, she really is monitoring me. He pretended to casually reply, Miss Willow really has great powers. She knows everything. Willow paused for a moment, then laughed. Did you use them to practice outer Sha? No wonder you mastered the blood fiend blade art so quickly. But even so, the blood fiend blade art is definitely not something that can be mastered in just 10 days. Willow suddenly grabbed Pei Ling's throat and coldly demanded, So what secrets do you have, Pei Ling? Pei Ling felt like she had fallen into an ice cellar, completely stiff and unable to move. Willow was seen using her fingertips to trace across Pei Ling's chest, saying, Let me cut you open and see what secrets you have. Feeling Willow's murderous intent, Pei Ling's heart turned cold. Was she really going to die here like this? Suddenly, several chains shot out of nowhere. The chains instantly bound Willow tightly, causing her movements to abruptly halt. Her sweet and lovely face twisted as she pleaded, Master, I was wrong. I won't move him again. After hearing Willow plead for mercy, the chains quickly disappeared. The newly liberated Willow looked obsequious as she tried to please Pei Ling. Young Master Pei, you quickly do some things to anger the master so that I can deal with you as I please. Pei Ling, what kind of formation is this? This sect is like the underworld. Not even the ghosts are normal. Willow then proceeded to introduce Pei Ling to the harm of practicing outer Sha. But Pei Ling didn't care at all. Anyway, he has a system helping him cultivate. But now, the most critical issue is how to get 90,000 spiritual stones. Pei Ling eagerly held Willow's hand and said, Miss Willow, you must have a quick way to earn spiritual stones, preferably enough to earn 90,000 spiritual stones. Willow looked at Pei Ling's greedy expression and was speechless. Do you want spiritual stones? Rely on young Master Pei's amazing physique. You can just ask the owner directly, or I can figure it out myself. This fatal backdoor money-making method is something I'd rather not get involved in. Pei Ling responded to Willow by waving her hand and said, You'd better figure it out yourself. Later, she threw a blood escape cultivation technique book to Pei Ling. This is a gift from the master. Cultivate it within 7 days, otherwise die. After Willow left, Pei Ling sighed in relief. Finally gone. Dealing with a mere ghostly servant was so troublesome. I wonder how terrifying Lee must be. It seems that he really has to practice this cultivation technique. The next morning, Pei Ling was still troubled about how to earn 90,000 spiritual stones. There was a sudden knocking at the door. It turned out that Xianmei came to find his junior brother Pei, my elder brother, and they need to prepare some things before leaving the city. So today we rest. Do you have any plans? Feeling the softness in your hand, Pei Ling blushed and replied with a smile. Senior sister, I have been traveling for several days and feel a bit tired. I plan to rest in the room. Xianmei immediately heard that Pei Ling plans to rest at home. He immediately went joyfully to find his elder brother. Pei Ling scratched her head and said, Why is she so happy resting in the room? Chen Hung couldn't see anyone around, and felt that something was wrong. He decided to sneak off to the market first to earn some spiritual stones. "This young gentleman, you have an exceptional physique, sir. You are the 1 in a million immortal cultivation genius. Here is an ancestral cultivation technique, the lightning whip combo. Would you like to take a look?" Pei Ling turned around without hesitation and left. He was speechless in his heart, not expecting that there are scammers in the other world as well. He watched as the big scammer became even more unscrupulous and relentless. Pei Ling immediately took out the Deep Mist Sect nameplate. "Could you take a look at this?" The big swindler suddenly shivered, turned out to be a Deep Mist Sect disciple. "Sorry to disturb you. Didn't expect this infernal sect's brand to be quite useful sometimes." Suddenly, Pei Ling's eyes turned cold. He unexpectedly found Chen Mei and Zhang Zongchen at the market. Little did he know that the rest of the group were setting up a formation for Pei Ling in the wilderness. Under the leadership of Formation Master Xiao Tasha, the group finally found a place with abundant yin qi. Here is the most suitable place to set up the child formation of the soul-devouring mother-child formation. But suddenly found that there were not enough talisman papers needed to set up the formation. When everyone was discussing how to handle it, Chen Shu walked out. "How about senior brother Zhang and I go back to buy talisman paper, while you continue to set up the formation here?" Huang Xian looked puzzled. "Why are you here too? Wasn't I supposed to keep an eye on Pei Ling?" Chen Shu looked smug and said, "Don't worry. I applied the long-distant aroma on Pei Ling. He won't escape the tracking of the tracking bee." Returning to the present, I overheard the two discussing the purchase of formation materials in the dark. Pei Ling also looked puzzled. "Formation materials? Is it necessary to go to such lengths to deal with an amethyst mink at the Qi refining 6th layer?" Just at this critical moment, a swindler suddenly appeared in the community. "Young master has a good eye. This is a precious cloth that can shield the leakage of spiritual qi. I can sell it to you cheaply if you want." Pei Ling, who was frightened, grabbed the cloth and ran off, throwing an elixir pill to the old man as payment in passing. His silly action successfully caught the attention of Zhang Zongchen. "I just saw Pei Ling release your spiritual bee quickly." Chen Shu also did not hesitate, and immediately released the spiritual bee to track in this direction, not the Lord's mansion. Pei Ling, who ran into an alley, thought to herself that she had said she would be resting at home. If she was caught here, it would be hard to explain. Just as she was about to continue to escape, a voice questioning her came from behind. "Pei Ling, it's really you. Didn't you say you would be resting at home?" Pei Ling quickly waved her hand to indicate that it was all a misunderstanding. Zhang Zongchen paid no attention to Pei Ling's explanation and stepped forward to grab Pei Ling's shoulder. "Misunderstanding? Then junior brother might as well explain why you ran away as soon as you saw me. Did you hear something you shouldn't have heard?" Pei Ling could only awkwardly explain that she couldn't sleep and came out for a walk, thinking that you might also be resting, so she didn't want to disturb you. Zhang Zongchen immediately communicated with Chen Shu. "This kid is mysterious. Maybe he really overheard something. We can't let him stay." Chen Shu objected. "No, the soul-devouring mother-child formation will be activated tomorrow. Let's bring him back and closely monitor him first." Saying that, she hugged Pei Ling tightly by the arm. With seductive eyes, she slowly said, "You are too reckless. He is not familiar with this place. What if something goes wrong?" Pei Ling sighed at how quickly this woman changes her attitude. Zhang Zongchen also agreed. "Junior sister Chen is right. We should give some notice before going somewhere as a team." Pei Ling could only awkwardly apologize. Chen Shu looked embarrassed. "If you continue like this next time, I will ignore you." Soon after, the two of them supported Pei Ling, walking back, one on each side. Pei Ling looked puzzled. "Aren't we supposed to buy materials for the formation?" Zhang Zongchen smirked. "Senior brother Chen and the others will go and buy the materials. Right now, it's more important to send you back." As night fell, Pei Ling lay alone in bed, feeling increasingly uneasy. Buying materials for the formation should be the priority. Why are they so eager to send me back? Moreover, on the way here, the two of them were much more enthusiastic than usual. Pei Ling had a terrible guess in her heart. Could their real purpose actually be me? Just then, the noisy sound from outside the door woke Pei Ling up. It turns out that senior brother Chen and several others, who went out to set up the formation, have returned. He was just about to eavesdrop on something when senior brother Chen caught him in the act. Junior brother Pei, get some rest early. Shortly after he asked, "What happened?" Pei Ling seemed to be alert. Zhang Zongchen then revealed the matter of Pei Ling sneaking out during the day. Chen Hung smiled confidently. "No problem. We'll take turns keeping an eye on him at night and not give him a chance to escape. When tomorrow comes, we'll lead him into junior sister Zhao's formation, and our plan will be successful. I know junior sister Zhao's maze formation well. I once spent 3 days in it and couldn't find my way out. When we lead this kid into the formation, even if he has great skills, he won't be able to escape." Early the next morning, senior brother Chen soon brought Pei Ling to the depths of the Helix Ridge Mountain Forest, looking at the crowd surrounding him. Pei Ling concluded in her heart that she was the target of their trip, but she didn't know why it was her. He asked with a bitter smile, "Senior brother Chen, are we looking for the flower monster?" Chen Hung responded lightly, "Just follow along." Chen Shu pretended to comfort junior brother Pei, "Don't be anxious, we will arrive soon." Pei Ling secretly calculated the strength of both sides in his mind. He found that he had no chance of winning at all. Just then, a roar was heard. Immediately, countless fiend beasts rushed towards the crowd from all directions. Several people immediately entered battle mode. Pei Ling was overjoyed. The opportunity had come, but he hadn't run a few steps yet. A fiend beast's head flew past Pei Ling. Pei Ling turned around and found that the battle had already ended. Chen Hung stared at Pei Ling with a gloomy expression and slowly spoke. "Junior brother Pei, you're going in the wrong direction." He faced senior brother Chen's questioning. Pei Ling could only awkwardly explain that she was a bit panicked during her first encounter with the fiend beast and ran in the wrong direction. He couldn't help but complain in his heart that these few fiend beasts were too weak. Chen Shu saw that Pei Ling was not honest and directly hugged Pei Ling's arm. "This won't do. What if we encounter a fiend beast again and get separated? I'll have to hold onto you tightly from now on." "There's no way. The fiend beasts around here are too weak. There's no chance to escape at all. That female ghost sister can save herself, but I'm afraid she's not exactly eager for me to die soon." At this moment, senior brother Chen and the others suddenly stopped in their tracks. They secretly communicated, "The child formation of the soul-devouring mother-child formation is just ahead. You lure Pei Ling into it, junior sister Xiao, and I will set up the mother formation." After saying that, the two of them directly left. Pei Ling seeing this, she was delighted. The two with the highest cultivation levels were not around, which she saw as a great opportunity for herself. He casually asked, "Senior sister Chen Shu, senior brother Chen, where did they go?" Chen Shu replied nonchalantly, "They are preparing to deal with the amethyst mink. Let's continue on." After walking forward for another 15 minutes, the group continued on. Pei Ling suddenly muttered, "They should have gone far away." Then, without waiting for Chen Shu's reaction, Pei Ling suddenly exploded and grabbed Chen Shu's neck, slamming her fiercely to the ground. "Stop acting in front of me." The sudden turn of events stunned Huang Xian and Zhang Zongchen. Pei Ling walking ahead. "What do you want to do, you little beast?" Pei Ling directly drew out the nihil blade. "I know what I want to do, and you two know it too." After speaking, his blade she attacked the two of them. This moment caught them off guard. The weapons in the hands of several people also instantly broke. Seeing this move with such great power, the two people were greatly shocked. "This is the nihil blade. Are you with Zheng Jingshan?" Pei Ling ignored the questioning of the two individuals and directly rushed towards them with a knife. Wang Xian and Zhang Zongchen sensed the danger and directly transmitted a message. Don't hesitate. Lead him into child formation. Just then, Zhang Zongchen manipulated the finger mantra in his hand, causing numerous rock walls to rise from the ground. Pei Ling's nihil blade, incredibly sharp, instantly shattered the rock walls one after another. When the smoke cleared, there was no one in front of Pei Ling. Suddenly, Wang Xian appeared from behind, holding a talisman. Pei Ling immediately turned around and swung her knife to strike. Wang Xian was successfully forced to retreat. But the talisman was also successfully unleashed in an instant. Strands of golden chains appeared around Pei Ling's body. Before Pei Ling could react, the chains tightly bound her. Just as Pei Ling was immobilized, Zhang Zongchen appeared once again. He directly used his fists to hit Pei Ling and sent her flying. Pei Ling fell into the dense woods not far away. After Pei Ling got up, she couldn't help but sigh that it was a bit difficult to deal with two chi-refining 5-layer opponents. However, it's strange that those two didn't chase after her. Never mind, slipping away is the best option. However, after walking for a while, Pei Ling suddenly realized. He found himself back at the starting point, facing a strange compass. Pei Ling looked at the evil glyphs before him, feeling increasingly that it was not safe to stay here for long. He took a deep breath. He ran wildly in one direction. But no matter which direction he ran, he would always end up back in the same place. Oh no, this place is a maze. Pei Ling lay on the ground in frustration. Suddenly, a bright idea flashed in his mind. System, I want to cultivate the blood ghost escaping art. The intelligent immortal cultivation system is dedicated to serving you. During the cultivation process, the host may lose control of the body. Please do not panic. Blood-colored ripples appeared under Pei Ling's feet immediately. The blood ghost escaping art started cultivating instantly. Detected that continuing to cultivate the blood ghost escaping art requires consuming blood food. The system will give you a free supply of top-grade blood food. Pei Ling felt secretly delighted. Indeed, in this ghostly place, there is nothing. If you want blood food, you have to take the young master out to find it. However, it was unexpected that the system actually led Pei Ling straight to a big mountain. Pei Ling was greatly shocked. Big brother, I asked you to find the way, not to find death. It turned out that the expected collision did not happen. Pei Ling went straight through the rock wall. This turned out to be an illusion. Pei Ling was overjoyed. I finally escaped. The system will remember your credit. I will give you a 4-star rating this time. Meanwhile, Chen Heng and Xiao Tasha also successfully set up the mother formation. When he returned to the original location, he found that everyone was covered in injuries. Wang Xian looked terrible. We were all tricked by that brat. Unexpectedly, Zheng Jingshan actually gave the nihil blade to him. The nihil blade? It seems that Pei Ling has a close relationship with Zheng Jingshan. Sun Orchid actually deceived herself. Zhang Zongchen can hardly hide his worries. Senior brother Chen provoking Zheng Jingshan is not wise. How about we? Chen Heng, on the other hand, remains calm. Rest assured, a dead person won't speak. He has already been trapped in the maze formation, and it's impossible for him to come out alive. In another half an hour, the mother formation will be completed. Today, I am determined to refine the soul summoning banner. The scene suddenly shifts, and Pei Ling is being controlled by the system to a gloomy cave. Looking at the densely packed spider eggs in front of her, Pei Ling is speechless. It can't be just a coincidence. Could this be the lair of the human-faced spider? The system doesn't care about all that. Just a swift strike of the hand, and the blade falls. Intense blood chi directly gathers towards Pei Ling. He twisted and turned in the cave, moving at a speed more than twice as fast as before. Then he transformed around his body into a thin layer of blood clothing. Blood ghost escaping art cultivation is completed. At the same time, the system prompts the completion. This cultivation session ends here. Thank you for using the intelligent immortal cultivation system. Please give a 5-star rating if you are satisfied. Just as Pei Ling was immersed in the joy of mastering the escaping art, a thunderous noise suddenly came from behind. A huge spider with red eyes was staring at him. The human-faced spider instantly became furious. It couldn't help but let out a sharp, eerie scream. Fortunately, Pei Ling had just mastered the blood ghost escaping art, barely avoiding the attack. It is fortunate that this escaping art comes from forcibly and has been systematically cultivated. After Pei Ling exerted all her strength, she instantly opened up the distance between her and the human-faced spider. No matter how the human-faced spider charges recklessly, even angrily spitting out spider silk, it can only rage in impotence. It watched helplessly as his figure turned into a small black dot. But Pei Ling didn't expect that even though he had run out of the cave, the human-faced spider was still chasing after him. Got it, reciprocate instead of being impolite, it might be better to. When Pei Ling charged recklessly towards the canyon, several miles outside the canyon, a deliberately cleared area was delineated with cinnabar and blood to form intricate formation patterns. In the center of the cleared area stood a soul-summoning banner, on which dozens of souls were depicted in a hysterical struggle, their faces contorted. A smile appeared on Chen-Heng's face. The soul-devouring mother-child formation has been completed. Junior Sister Xiao, please begin. With a soft exhale from Xiao Tasha, the soul-devouring mother-child formation was officially activated. In an instant, thunder rumbled, and an eerie aura enveloped the surroundings just as Chen-Heng imagined. Just as his own soul-summoning banner was about to be completed, the operation of the formation suddenly came to a halt. Xiao Tasha was shocked. There were no sacrifices in the child formation. Pei Ling escaped. The crowd, each with their own secrets, suddenly became chaotic. Chen-Heng quickly interrupted the arguing crowd and decisively took command. Qin Mei, you quickly summon Tracking Bee to go after junior brother Huang and junior brother Zhang to chase Pei Ling. Remember, she must stay alive. Chen-Heng looked unhappy. The group did not dare to delay, and quickly followed behind Tracking Bee. But the group did not chase out for a while. Then Tracking Bee's movements began to become strange, as if there was a terrifying presence ahead, and it dared not fly further. Huang Xian's face grew solemn, saying, "There aren't any proper fiend beasts around here. Could it be the human-faced spider?" Zhang Zongchen rebutted, "It's impossible. The human-faced spider is currently in its breeding season and wouldn't come this far to protect its offspring." Just as the two were arguing, a billowing dust cloud suddenly rose not far ahead of them. It turned out that Pei Ling was galloping towards them without stopping. 3 people, danger. Pei Ling did not hesitate to lead the human-faced spider towards the teammates, who were worried about not being able to find Pei Ling. When they saw Pei Ling running towards them, they were overjoyed. However, what they never expected was Pei Ling actually passed directly through them. Before leaving, she left a sentence. "Thank you, senior brothers, for taking care of me these days. I hope you like this gift." When the 3 of them saw Pei Ling's speed so fast, they were greatly surprised, wondering what escaping art Pei Ling had cultivated. But before they could catch up, a loud noise came from behind Pei Ling. It turned out that the human-faced spider had already arrived behind the 3 of them. The 3 of them were terrified and ran for their lives. The human-faced spider spewed out a strand of silk from its mouth. Qin Shu, who had the lowest cultivation level, was directly entangled. She quickly shouted for help. "Senior brother, save me!" Zhang Zongchen wanted to step forward to help but was directly stopped by Huang Xian. "Go, we cannot save her now," Huang Xian said. The 2 of them watched as Qin Shu fell into the mouth of the human-faced spider with their eyes wide open. Pei Ling heard a distant scream and glanced back. "Don't blame me, all of this is your own fault." The 2 who luckily escaped found Chen-Heng, who looked at them in such a miserable state. Chen-Heng sensed that something was wrong. "What happened? And where is my sister Pei Ling?" "Senior brother Chen, that kid Pei Ling attracted the human-faced spider. We used the blood-firing art to luckily escape. Poor junior sister Chen." These words shocked both of them. Xiaotasha said anxiously, "Senior brother Chun, we are no match for the human-faced spider. Let's hurry and leave." Qin Heng turned his head and looked at the woman, saying firmly, "We can indeed escape. What about the injured junior brother Huang and junior brother Zhang? Now we can only use the soul-devouring mother-child formation." He turned around and said to the two of them, "You guys enter the child formation to hide first. Wait for junior sister Xiao and need to lure the human-faced spider into the maze formation. Then you can come out." The two of them looked uneasy. Can the maze formation at the foundation establishment stage cultivation level trap the human-faced spider? Who knows? Qin Heng's face darkened. After so many years of friendship, could senior brother still harm you all? Junior sister Xiao on the side also wanted to say something. However, she was stopped by Qin Heng. Although Zhang and Huang noticed something was wrong, they currently had no better options. They had to trust senior brother Qin. Watching the two people slowly walk away, Qin Heng's face changed. He smirked and said to junior sister Xiao, "When Huang Xian and Zhang Zongchen enter the formation, activate the formation immediately. Refine both of them into the soul summoning banner." Pei Ling finally managed to escape from her annoying teammates. Unexpectedly, he had only taken a few steps when suddenly it became quiet all around. A pink spiritual power chain appeared out of thin air, binding Pei Ling tightly. Experiencing a similar incident before, Pei Ling was only slightly surprised before realizing. But what about Miss Willow? Willow appeared instantly, lightly licking her fingers with her tongue, and said with a smile, "Master Pei Ling, long time no see." The next second, however, her face darkened. The deadline of 7 days has arrived. I wonder how young Master Pei's escaping art cultivation is going. Pei Ling tried his best to steady his mind, forcing a smile and said, "I have successfully mastered the blood ghost escaping art. Please release your suppression and allow me to demonstrate." Willow looked incredulous. She then pointed to a withered tree in the distance, gesturing for Pei Ling to use the blood ghost escaping art to bend a branch back. "Young Master Pei, you better not try to trick me with any tricks, otherwise." But Willow hasn't finished speaking yet. Pei Ling has already activated escaping art, and quickly retrieved the branches with a flash. She saw that Pei Ling had actually mastered the blood ghost escaping art within 7 days. Willow was greatly shocked. "You actually really mastered it?" Pei Ling scratched her head, speechless. "What's wrong? Didn't you say it must be mastered within 7 days? Willow blushed with anger and disappeared in an instant. Perplexed, Pei Ling looked bewildered and asked, "Leaving already?" At the same time, Willow appeared in Fairy Lee's room and reported to Li Linares about Pei Ling's early training in escaping art. Li Linares frowned slightly and asked indifferently, "It's not time yet. Why did you go early to spy on his progress?" Willow, not daring to conceal the truth, immediately trembled and said in a quivering voice, "In response to the master, Willow originally intended to play a trick on Pei Ling and took it upon myself to change the cultivating time of half a month to 7 days. As soon as the words fell, Fairy Lee snorted coldly, and Willow's 7 orifices instantly bled, experiencing excruciating pain and misery. Li Linares said coldly with a frosty expression, "Get out! This won't happen again." Seeing Willow leaving the room unharmed, Grace, who was waiting outside, breathed a sigh of relief and said, trying to persuade her, "The master usually dislikes us acting on our own. It's fortunate that he didn't do anything to you this time. If the soul mark had been disrupted, you would have been doomed. Willow is lethargic and listless. That guy has taken advantage of the master so much. Who would have thought that the master would treat the guy?" Grace sighed at the words, whispering, "Master Primordial Yin's cultivation technique backfired due to being broken, endangering the position of the Saintess. She had no choice but to seclude herself, and some people took the opportunity to provoke her. Even our dog was beaten. But the master has always been far-sighted. Let's not worry." Meanwhile, Li Linares inside the door is meditating to cultivate. she murmured while holding the Sixth Desire secret tome in her hands. The Sixth Desire secret tome is truly too powerful. No one within the sect is able to restore it. I didn't expect that he could actually incorporate the Sixth Desire secret tome into his body. And he even cultivates in a dual manner. He pours the power of the secret tome into my body. While he broke my primordial yin, he greatly boosted my cultivation level. However, the progress of the dual cultivation in the following half-month was slow, far behind the first cultivation. Could it be that? Do I have to wait for him to take the initiative? I will explore further in the future to find out. On the other hand, Pei Ling is working hard with the help of the system to refine Dan. Today, he successfully refined a total of 5 furnaces of Dan pills. Cultivation level has also been upgraded to Qi refining 5-layer in passing. Except for those eaten by oneself and spoiled during refinement, there are a total of 39 top-grade bone-quenching Dan left in the end. Now the question is how to safely sell the Dan pill. You should know that this is a large sum of money. After much contemplation, Pei Ling finally made a decision. He went to sell the Dan pill in women's clothing. He thought his cosplay was foolproof. He didn't expect that he would be seen through by the boss of Treasure's Hall and even teased. Young people always like to play around, I understand. Pei Ling looked embarrassed and hurriedly escaped. Seeing the failed disguise plan, Pei Ling had to come back to Zhang Jingshan's door again. He hoped that he could help himself sell the Dan pill. I didn't expect to hear a noisy disturbance before Pei Ling even entered the door. Without waiting for Pei Ling's reaction, the door was kicked open by a domineering woman named Peng, who cursed and complained. Bullying people with power, I'll deal with you sooner or later. She also comforted the woman next to her, saying, It's nothing to not meet a mere Dan refining master. Upon hearing the words, Dan refining master, Pei Ling was shocked. It won't be because of myself again, will it? He watched as the 2 women left. Pei Ling was thinking about whether to lay low for a while. Just then, Zhang Jingshan walked out from the courtyard. He had a fresh palm print on his face. He spotted Pei Ling, who looked sneaky and mysterious, at a glance. Unable to escape from Pei Ling's sight, he had to awkwardly greet her. Already in a bad mood, Zhang Jingshan questioned Pei Ling why she appeared here. Thinking about the trouble this kid caused before, he angrily said, Did you cause the trouble just now again? Pei Ling hurriedly waved her hand in fright, realizing that she couldn't dodge the issue. Pei Ling had to spell out in detail how she sold the Dan pill using Zhang Jingshan's identity. Zhang Jingshan could not bear it anymore. He grabbed Pei Ling and said, Do you really think I'm easy to bully? This time I'll take your life for sure. Zhang Jingshan sensed the killing intent. Pei Ling's face turned deathly pale in an instant. He disregarded everything and shouted at the top of his lungs, Miss Willow, help! Being called out by Pei Ling, Zhang Jingshan also calmed down. It doesn't seem like a bluff. Could it be that this matter was indeed instructed by senior sister? Does he have some talent in Dan refining? Later, he let go of Pei Ling and asked lightly, Do you really think you can refine the top-grade bone-quenching Dan? Pei Ling quickly seized the opportunity and said, Senior brother Zhang, if you don't believe it, I can refine the Dan on the spot. Zhang Jingshan, in order to give both sides a way out, agreed that if Pei Ling could really refine the bone-quenching Dan, he would let him off the hook. After a quarter of an hour, a woman with exotic charm then brought the Dan pill furnace and medicinal herbs. The kid bragged that he could refine a top-grade Dan pill. You should stay and observe as well. Unexpectedly, after the woman finished speaking at Zhang Jingshan, she also very gently cheered on Pei Ling. Pei Ling instantly turned into a silly fan. This is the first time Pei Ling has felt cared for. But the next second, Pei Ling was pulled back to reality. What are you looking at? Hurry up and give me the Dan refining. Pei Ling slowly walked to the front of the Dan pill furnace. The system is activated and one-click cultivation begins. As the system takes over Pei Ling's body, Pei Ling instantly transformed into a master of Dan refining. His every move is executed with utmost fluidity. No matter it is about the processing of medicinal materials, or the control of the Dan pill's heat, and the mastery of the temperature, and the timing of putting in the herbs, all perfect to the peak. Zheng Jingshan couldn't help but look at Pei Ling in astonishment. Half an hour later, a furnace of top-grade bone-quenching Dan was already finished. He couldn't stop praising it compared to gentle sisters. Zheng Jingshan, on the other hand, was full of jealousy. With such unparalleled talent in Dan refining, it's no wonder Fairy values him so much. Zheng Jingshan took a deep breath, pondered for a moment, and said, "All right, I already know that your talent in Dan refining is indeed outstanding. Go back and quickly advance to the Qi refining 5th layer, so that I can bestow upon you a valuable opportunity." But as soon as the words fell, Zheng Jingshan was surprised to find that Pei Ling has already reached the Qi refining 5th layer. Peerless talent in the Tao of alchemy, such terrifying cultivation speed. Senior sister is truly deserving of her reputation, possessing such keen insight. I, Zheng Jingshan, have a long way to go to catch up. Pei Ling is wondering what kind of opportunity could be more important than making money. When he learned that he was going to Gu Abyss to refine the frost marrow flame, he instantly decided to back out. Upon seeing Pei Ling so incompetent, Zheng Jingshan immediately promised, "If you can successfully obtain the frost marrow flame on this trip, the penalty for killing 3 people including Miao Cheng will be covered by Pei Ling. This is true." Zheng Jingshan did not answer, but just spoke solemnly to the person behind him. Fang Ji Shuang. You and Xianxia immediately returned for preparation. You are preparing to take junior brother Pei to Gu Abyss. After that, Xianxia walked over carrying a coffin. Peak Master, we are ready and can depart at any time. Pei Ling watched anxiously on the side, as 3 Foundation establishment cultivators accompanied them. It seems that the danger level of Gu Abyss is not to be underestimated. He soon hoped that Zheng Jingshan could accompany him to go together. Zheng Jingshan felt speechless about Pei Ling's timidity. Soon he took out a 100-mile vanishing talisman and handed it to Pei Ling. Pei Ling reluctantly accepted it with an overwhelming sense of joy in his heart. He planned to use the talisman to escape immediately if something went wrong. Later, Zheng Jingshan instructed a few more people, saying that it's okay if the mission fails, but Pei Ling's life must not be lost. If he encounters danger, the 3 immediately clasped their hands and said that as long as they were alive, junior brother Pei would have no worries about his life. 1/4 of an hour later, the senior and junior brothers, for in total, successfully reached the entrance to Gu Abyss. Pei Ling glanced into the abyss. Descending less than 10 zhang, black mist churned, obscuring the line of sight. Seeing the situation, Xianxia gave Pei Ling an antidote pill and asked Pei Ling to stay close to the 3 people and not to get separated. At the same time, she instructed the other 2 to protect Pei Ling well. Feeling the care from senior sister, Pei Ling's heart warmed again. Shortly after, senior sister Xianxia directly held Pei Ling's hand. She smiled and said, "Junior brother, do you believe me?" Pei Ling blushed as she was about to answer, but she was hugged by senior sister, and they both jumped directly into the abyss. At the same time, somewhere in an 8. Miao Chengyang felt something in his heart as he approached a candle. The flame of the candle suddenly rose, and a line of words quickly appeared in the fire. Zheng Jingshan intends to bring Pei Ling to Frost Marrow Flame, led by Ouyang Xianxia, already entered Gu Abyss. Miao Chengyang smiled faintly at Pei Ling. "I will take your head to sacrifice to my younger brother." Pei Ling, who had just arrived at the bottom of the Gu Abyss, felt like the surroundings were filled with black mist. He shivered uncontrollably from the cold all over his body. Just then, a warm hand reached out. "Are you still cold?" Junior brother Pei Xianxia held Pei Ling's hand and transferred spiritual power to her. Seeing Pei Ling so weak, Fang Ji immediately jumped out and started mocking her. Senior sister Xianxia naturally went all out to defend Pei Ling. In the end, everyone decided to let Shuang protect Pei Ling. Shortly after, everyone arrived at the first challenge of the Gu Abyss, Dreamsense Forest. Shuang handed Pei Ling a wooden stick and instructed her not to let go no matter what she sees. Pei Ling immediately held onto it tightly. "This stick is my lifeline. I won't let go even if I die." Just as I entered Dreamsense Forest, Shuang disappeared. Fortunately, the lifeline in my hand is still here, which eased Pei Ling's anxious heart a little. But the next second, someone who never would have expected. She appeared in front of Pei Ling. Even the stick in her hand turned into Fairy Li's little hand. The goddess-like demonic sect Saintess in everyone's eyes. She actually forced Pei Ling down in front of everyone. Fairy Li expertly pinned Pei Ling underneath her and said, "You actually disobeyed my orders? Or do you want to cultivate here?"